Everyone, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everyone to the October meeting of the Irondequoit Zoning Board of Appeals. Before we get underway with the matters on the agenda, there's a few administrative details to take care of. First, the fire exit is located to your left. In the event of a fire, you will be notified by an announcement. If so notified, please move in a calm and orderly fashion to the exit. Do not use the elevator. Use either the north or the south stairs to leave the building. Meetings are being recorded by our Secretary, Michelle, for the purpose of a record, not a transcript, and for the purpose of preparing minutes. So when you come to the microphone, please identify yourself by name. If it's your first time at the microphone, please also provide your address. The board follows the items in the order that they appear on the agenda. There are extra copies of the agenda available near the door. Once the case has been called, the applicant or their representative should come to the podium, identify themselves, state their address, pause a moment to raise their right hand to be sworn, and then present their case. During the presentation, the zoning board members will have an opportunity to question or engage in a discussion with the applicant. Once that process is completed, we'll open the matters to public input if they were scheduled for a public hearing tonight. Anyone wishing to speak to the board regarding the application should come to the podium, identify themselves and their address, direct their questions to the board. Those who are speaking in favor of or in opposition to or about an application are not sworn. Once all the public input has been completed, the applicant or their representative will be given the opportunity to respond to any public input, and the hearing will then be closed. After all the cases have been heard, the board will take a short recess and then return to deliberate each case in the order of applicants who remain present. No further input is allowed during this point in the hearing, but you're welcome to stay and listen to the deliberation. If you wish to leave, but you're interested in knowing what the results are, you can either catch us on cable or you can call the Planning and Zoning Department tomorrow morning after 9 a.m. The first item on the agenda, I understand, has been withdrawn.
Correct.
So we're ready to have the first case for consideration called.
Motion to remove.
Oh, yes, thank you. I will make a motion that we remove the case number ZB 2023-0901 from the table. Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries, 6 votes in favor, no opposed, no abstentions. One member of the board is, we do not have a 7th member of the board, so we are constituted tonight as 6. So now I guess we can call the case.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Case number ZB 2023-09-01, request by Aaron Agee for acting as agent for Heidi Scorsone for area variances to maintain a front yard fence exceeding maximum permitted height and non-conforming fence type on premises 179 Lakefront in an R2 residential district.
Heidi Scorsone, 179 Lakefront Drive.
Do you swear or affirm that everything you say tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I was told that you wanted to see a larger map, survey map. Would you like me to bring it up?
If you could hand it to Mr. Johnson.
I was told that the meeting was tabled from last time, so I don't know if there's any additional information. The fence is 6 foot tall that I'm requesting. I'm requesting 3 sections, and the posts are 8 foot tall because they need to be higher than the fence.
Why do the posts need to be 2 feet higher than the fence?
A little bit underneath, I guess, and a little bit on top. I mean, it doesn't mean that we're going to push it to the top. It just means that they're standard 8-foot posts. I guess most fences are,
Well, how much is buried in the ground?
I think, up to the frost line, 36 inches.
Well, that's why I'm curious as to why they're 8.
I didn't put the posts in. I bought this prior to, the posts were prior to when I purchased the property. On the survey map, it shows the fence in there. And most fences have higher posts. Do you want to see a picture of the post?
I have a picture of the
Okay.
post. And, excuse me, because if you may have noticed, I wasn't here last month. so.
Okay. And did you get the photos I sent in? That was a pre-edition.
Did see those,
Okay,
yes.
it was a pre-existing fence that was there. We took the panels out when we found out that they never got a permit for it. We're just hoping to put the panels back in and have a little privacy back there. I guess the neighbors complained that they couldn't see the water, but if you see, there's no windows where we want to put the fence.
Is this what you're saying was the pre-existing fence?
No, that's my neighbor to my other side.
I
and
was
they-
going to say, I
they
thought
have a
that was the fence on the east side.
They have a fence there,
All
yeah.
right. Do you,
Right.
did you have a photo of the fence that was there before?
Yes.
That I haven't seen. At least I don't think I have. Oh, okay. I did see that.
Thank you.
And you said that fence was there when you purchased the property?
Yes. We did add additional panels, and we found out that we weren't allowed, so we took them down. But the existing fence that was there is the one that, when I purchased the property.
Jim,
It
according,
is on the survey map, if you see. That's the survey map when I purchased the property.
Jim, I just want to say, according to the person who spoke against it last meeting, he had said that right before it was sold, the individual who was the property owner put up the fence that was the 8-foot post, and then obviously didn't get a permit, and then I'm guessing this person purchased the property not knowing that, and then extended the fence.
And then I took that portion out, and then I didn't realize I needed a permit for somebody that I already put, I never knew that they didn't get a permit for the original fence.
I think I understand now, thank you. So now you're asking for 3 panels?
Yes. I think there was 4. If you look in the survey, it shows 4 or 5 of them. I just want 3 for a little privacy in the back. And the panels are 6 foot tall by 8 foot wide. If you can see through the pictures, the house extends past my patio. So that's why they look directly, well, where we're putting the panels, there's a door that's got a frosted window, but I just like a little privacy because people do cut through that pathway right there between the 2 houses.
Well, according to the information, if I'm reading it correctly, everything that came in with respect to this, that's a right-of-way. It's not people cutting through. It's people have...
No, that's what the neighbors told me, it was a right-of-way. But on the survey, I asked my attorney, I asked the title company, and on the survey, it shows that there's no right-of-way or no easement. The neighbors all told me this, but it's not even true. There is a right-of-way in the front of the property where we share driveways, and that's on there, the easement. But between the 2 properties, there is no easement recorded.
Well, I see this picture that has 3 8-foot posts in it.
It
And
might be an older picture. I don't know. Like I said, we started cutting the posts down when I started getting tickets.
this is 179 Lakefront, page 104.
This is what's currently,
Shows 3
can I come up there
8-foot
to
fence
take?
posts.
Can I take a look?
Sure.
one in the front and one on the end.
Right.
So is it,
So you're asking, that would indicate to me 2 panels.
2 panels, I apologize.
Oh, so that's what you're asking for,
Yes.
is the 2 panels?
2 panels,
Okay.
3 posts.
so you want to replace these cloth curtains with
Panels.
2 panels?
Yes. And that's what was there originally when I purchased it. I don't know when it was installed, I don't know. But they, I didn't get a background of the fence, unfortunately.
I just have some concerns with the 8-foot posts. I mean, we've never really approved a fence that was 8 feet unless there was a significant problem.
Well, you're talking about 6-foot panels, right?
Yes, yes. The
That are
fence,
going to be at ground level
yes,
and go up 6 feet.
go up.
'Cause
But
the
ground
old-
level, I'm sorry to interrupt, ground level is never steady. Like, it's, it dips down. So if you look at a top of a fence, it's always level. You don't see fences that are staggered. So sometimes a fence
I'll
has
beg
to be
differ
brought.
with you because we've had several instances where we've approved fences that are on sloping lands, and each panel is the ground with the maximum height of each panel being no more than 6 feet, so some of them will be less than 6 feet at a different end as the ground slopes down.
Okay, so you want me to dig out where the higher ground? Is that what you're saying, if the slopes down?
The fence panels should be flush with the ground, is what we're saying, yes.
Okay,
And there should be no panel that's greater than 6 feet in height,
okay.
okay?
We're only talking about 2 of them.
And 2.
Two
That's what
panels.
you're asking for now,
Yes.
right? 2 panels that would be 6 feet from the ground at the highest spot.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from the board? All right, we'll open this application up to public input. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak in favor of this application? Is there anyone here who wishes to speak in opposition to this application? Step right up.
My name's David Dowd, and I reside at 183 Lakefront. I've been living there about 2 years, and I can say I've never seen Heidi. I can say also that this little region of Irondequoit is a really nice, close-knit community with a number of family living right there. They share that access to the lake, and I believe 2 panels, as it has been, is totally reasonable. And I have the listing from Realtor.com, which seemed to be the same pictures that you already had. So I'm happy to share those with you too, of what the fence had looked like, but it seems as though you already have that information.
The 8-foot one that went out a ways,
No,
where there's a big gap between the panel and the ground?
there is a gap between the panel and the ground, if you'd like to see that.
I think that is a picture that we have.
Okay, cool. So just to be clear then, is what proposed just being the 2 panels?
That picture?
That has 3 panels, sir.
Oh, I know, that's the fence that I believe that you're talking about the way it used to be.
Yeah, I suppose this is what it was on the posting.
Okay.
Okay.
What, the applicant has modified the application.
Okay, good.
That's what's there now.
This is from the posting when she bought the house. So this is what is to be, correct?
That's what she's asking for, but I have a picture here that shows,
That was the wall.
yeah,
Yeah.
all right, okay. So that's not what the applicant is not asking to have that configuration be allowed. What she's requesting is what the picture that you just showed, that would be 2 panels, that would be 6 feet from the ground, no higher than 6 feet and flush with the ground.
That's reasonable.
Okay. All right. Anyone else that wishes to speak in opposition to this application? Step right up.
My name is Jane Nadeau. I live at 175 Lakefront, also known as 5280 St. Paul Boulevard. I have a double address. I also own the house at 175 Lakefront, and it's rented by two families. It's a two-family home, which we rent out to families.
Where is that in relation to 179? Is that the house that's east?
Exactly east of it, and then the next one east is my residence.
So,
West.
so the fence that's depicted in this picture, that's your fence?
No. I am west of her. 179, 16, what is she, is one,
She's 179.
she's 179. The next house to the east is 175,
Right.
and the next house to the east is 5280 St. Paul, which is my house.
But I thought you just told me you owned 175.
I do.
Okay.
I own both
And
of them.
my understanding is that this is the fence that's on the east side of 179 and the west side of 175.
I'm west, yeah.
You're west,
Yeah.
so you're in
Sorry, I'm nervous
the
here.
tan house.
Tan house is my house is rented
Okay.
by two families, and the
All
house
right, so that's west.
west. Okay, I'm sorry,
Okay.
west.
That's why I was confused.
I'm confused too. I'm sorry.
All right,
All
so
right.
you
Again,
own the tan house to the west.
west, and I also live on the following house to the west.
All right, and that's
Right.
where the gentleman who spoke before you resides?
No,
No.
he's up the driveway. A lot of,
Okay,
okay.
It's a confusing thing even when I walk to
Right.
figure out
Okay.
where everything is.
This is the character of our neighborhood. Fundamentally, I've lived there for over 30 years. Is our wide. The whole character of the neighborhood is the beautiful, wide open, lake facing area, and with no fences. And also, Heidi Scorsone is not our neighbor. She is running a short-term rental. She does not live there. She is not a resident there. It's a short-term rental. We've never seen her. This is the first time I've seen her. The fence is not necessary for privacy because there is no privacy. The house that I use that I have as rental, long-term rental, is the windows of the second floor and third floor where my tenants reside look directly down on that yard. The fence, even with the two panels, it doesn't obstruct the view, and two panels is much better than more, but the 8-foot posts are ugly. The fence is just, basically the town has been dealing with this for a year. There's no trust here. She took down the panels only after she was taken to court. Literally, this fence was up for a year. The shower curtains have been up since then. She waits until somebody calls her out and the town has to enforce the code. If she gets away with this, I mean, if the town gives her variance, she can, I guess that's okay, but the lesson is given is that anyone can do what they want, and then if you come back for variance enough times, this is her. There were 3 variance hearings on this that she didn't show for, and she was taken off the docket. Then the town let her get back on, and then it was tabled. So this is the 5th variance hearing on this fence. Okay, the lesson here is do what you want, drag it out, and wear everybody down. You know, we don't have time to come to variance hearings every month. All right, but I don't want any fence. I don't think there should be a fence because I don't believe that she'll keep it at the size she keeps it at. She doesn't want to take down the posts because that costs money. She's going to keep those 8-foot posts and she's going to keep those panels off the ground so they're higher than 6 foot until somebody complains. And then she's going to drag it out again. I can see it coming. This has been going on for a year. So I have no trust. I don't think she should get her variance. She doesn't live there. She has no need for privacy. There's no privacy anyway. It's a short-term rental. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Ma'am, I just have one question for you. What about the fence on the other side of the property?
The fence on the other side of the property doesn't bother people. It doesn't block anyone's view, doesn't threaten to block anyone's view. There's no pass-through there. By the way, my deed says that in exchange for access to the street, the houses on the lake give the houses on the street house access to the lake. There's an exchange there. She has easement to get to the street from that house. Her short-term rentals have easement to get to the street, and in return, the houses that border the driveway have easement to get to the lake.
Okay.
So that's not,
I thought there was some kind of arrangement like that.
yeah, there is an arrangement, and there's arrangement to get to the lake, and that fence creates more of a tunnel vision than the other fence. There's no
Well,
view.
I agree with you about the fence that she originally proposed and the pictures of the fence that was originally there. And
But it's taken
that-
a year, and
that was going to impede a lot of the view, and that really would have effectuated a change in the neighborhood. But as I look at this modified request for 2 6-foot panels, it's not blocking any views. It's not going to be really visible because the house that you own extends closer to the lake.
Right.
So the only time that anybody's going to see that is if they're walking by it between the two houses or coming up from the east along the walkway.
I just have no confidence that if we start giving variances for fences, it won't get extended, it won't get built higher, and we'll have to go through this process all the way again.
Well-
And if you slip up and don't go to the variance, they get the variance.
Well, I can assure you, ma'am, that we don't make decisions based on whether it's going to look good or whether it bothers the neighbors. What we make the decisions on is the standards.
Yeah.
And
It's a
as-
front yard fence, is it not?
It is, and no front yard fences are permitted. So the question, we have a fence on the east side, and I don't know why that's there, but you told me that didn't bother you, but
Well,
this one does.
If, it wouldn't
And-
bother me if it was gone either.
Right,
Wouldn't
and what
bother me
I'm
if it was
pointing
gone.
out is, all I'm trying to point out is
Yeah.
that the applicant has scaled back the application to accommodate, in my view, the real issues that I had with this
Right.
8-foot
Only
fence
after
extending way down.
5 hearings and a year
Oh,
has
yes, well,
passed.
and we've had enforcement issues before, but we don't enforce the rules.
Yeah.
We make them when it comes to variances, okay?
All right.
And the town, in terms of enforcement by the town, I'm sure that, because I've had experiences myself, I will tell you from personal experience that if you call the enforcement officer several times a week, they will get on it, just so that you don't call them anymore. That's how I got the
Yeah,
problem
that
I
was-
had taken care of.
But-
Okay?
Yeah,
All right.
takes a long time. And what about the 8-foot post? That's against,
Well, if we approve 6-foot fence and 6-foot panels, we're not going to approve 8-foot posts. They will be cut down.
okay,
All right?
thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else who wishes to speak in opposition?
Hi, Skylar Brunner, 175 Lakefront. I've lived in this community for my entire life at 175 Lakefront for about 10 years. Just, I guess if
So
it's,
that's your fence?
that is not my fence. I'm
Whose
on the,
fence is that?
that is Tom. He's on the other side. I believe he put that fence up with the last owner, Ray.
Is there a 177 lakefront?
I don't think so.
No, 175, 179.
And then it's like 186.
Which one is
But I
this?
think that's technically on the Airbnb's property.
Which number is this? It's 180. Oh, okay. All right, so you're at 175, that's this tan building?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, yeah, I guess I have similar concerns that, you know, a random dude with a shovel in the middle of winter put in this fence, and, like, nothing was done about it for so long. And a lot of us work from home, so that was just really annoying. We've never met this neighbor who owns the Airbnb. I find it really hard to believe that you wouldn't know any of the rules owning multiple Airbnbs. So I guess I'm in the same boat where, like, 2 panels, I guess, is fine, but I'm pretty frustrated at this point. We've had fires that reached the 3rd floor next to us from the Airbnb, parties that went on till 2 in the morning, 5 in the morning on a Tuesday. I've got a 1-year-old daughter There's a ton of kids around. So like, it's hard to be like, okay, yeah, sure, 2 panels, no big deal. But like, it's constantly being pushed. And so like that 8-foot fence post, they put it in, they didn't measure it all, they just dug it, dropped cement, put the post in. So like, I'm just kind of like, how do we enforce that it's gonna be those 6-foot panels, and how you guys say? Do we have to call?
Starts with you making phone calls,
Okay,
okay?
all right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else here to speak in opposition to this application?
My name is David Stabley. I also live at 175 Lakefront, the lower half.
The tan building.
Hand
I'm
building.
getting it.
We got it. The 2 fence panels that were originally there when the applicant applied, purchased a home, they were installed without a permit. They were installed without consorting with any of the neighbors. They were trying to sell the house. We weren't going to say anything about it. Let it go. It'll help sell the house. She was a friend of ours, our neighbor, so she was selling her house, whatever. Then a 3rd panel was installed. And then another day later, 2 more panels show up, and I approached the gentleman and asked him about his permit. He said, "Oh, I have a permit." I said, "I don't see one around the house anywhere." "Oh, I've got one. You need to talk to Heidi about it." Well, as Jane has mentioned, this has been going on for a year. This isn't a fence that she's requesting to put up. Don't let yourselves be fooled. It's a wall. It's all it is a big, ugly vinyl wall. The one next door, the gray house, those were put up. There's maybe 3 feet between the house. There's a difference between that fence that's sheltering a dog area to keep the dogs kind of away from the people, and this vinyl wall, once again, that's just jutting out from the corner of her house out to the street, out to the front yard. It's not a fence, it's a wall. Since when do we put up walls in the front yards of houses in Irondequoit? That's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else here to speak in opposition to this application? Anyone who'd like to talk to us about fences? Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to respond to the other side of the fence. When I brought it up to the town a year ago, that there's another fence on the other side, and I didn't even put this original fence in, and I'm sorry that I put 3 panels additional, but I took them down. I said, do they have a variance for it? And they said no. And I said, okay, no variance. So I brought it up about 6 times to the town. And finally, I said, how come they haven't gotten ticketed? I've had to go to court over this. Everything else, when I took all the posts out, I just kept the 3 posts up and put a curtain up for some privacy. And they said I don't know, he didn't get a ticket. He didn't have to go to court. I mean, I've had to go to court at night about this, everything. I mean, I told the neighbors, I'll put up trees if I have to. But, I mean, it was just the point that why are all the neighbors so angry about my 2 sections of fence when the other side of the neighbor never got a variance, and he's got like 4 or 5 sections, I'm not even sure how many. Now, I didn't want to cause any problems with this, but the town knew that he didn't have a variance. The neighbors knew he didn't have the variance. And I'm the one that, for some reason, they're attacking on the other side because they said they haven't met me. I've been to the property. I go there at least once a month, a couple times a month. I make sure the property's always clean. I have my Airbnb guests there. I get a 5-star review with everything. If there's a party, I tell them immediately to call the cops, call me, I'll take care of it. But I don't understand why my fence with the 2 sections is such an issue, and I'm getting all these tickets and have to go to court at night, and also court during the day, when the other side has 4 or 5 sections and never got ticketed, in my understanding, and still has their fence up to this day. And all the neighbors are happy about their fence. I don't want either fence down, to tell you the truth. But, I mean, if I have to put up trees, I'll put up trees for a little privacy. But, I mean, that's just, at this point, I was like, why do they hate me so much? So I'm sorry.
The only thing that's before us tonight is 2 6-foot panels of
Okay.
fencing with fence posts to be attached to.
Okay.
What other fences are there, whether there's variances, that's not in front of us tonight. I will tell you that the first question I asked when I went there was, whose fence is that? The other one. That's why I was asking the people tonight before I got
And their
straightened
fence is
out
about
as to how the numbers work.
2 or 3 times bigger than the fence I'm requesting. No, I did, if you check the survey, it's not on my property. I clarified that.
That fence isn't in front of us tonight,
Okay,
okay? Thank you.
thank you.
We will close the hearing with respect to this matter. Move on to the next item on the agenda.
Sir, I believe I need a motion to remove this item from the table as well.
I will make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Well, first, any discussion? I do have one point. We closed the hearing with respect to this matter at the August 7th meeting, and it was tabled from the September meeting to tonight's meeting. Since it was tabled and the hearing closed, we have received from both the applicant and people opposing the application a considerable amount of additional material that was not before us at the August meeting. And since the hearing had been closed in August, the matter was not advertised as part of being a public hearing tonight. So the people who might otherwise have appeared to address us with respect to the application were not told through an advertisement that it would be on for any kind of hearing tonight other than to be considered by us. Part of the materials that were submitted consisted of 99 pages of largely single-spaced typed information with all kinds of exhibits and charts and financial information that was received at 9:02 this morning. I'm going to, instead of moving to take it off the table, I'm going to move to table it to reopen the public hearing and table the matter for that purpose to the November meeting. And as part of that, please put in the advertisement that any materials to be submitted with respect to the application are to be received at the town office by the Friday. That would be 9 days or 10 days, depending, I'm not sure, before our meeting. So if, for example, for this meeting tonight, October 2nd, they would have had to have been received by the 22nd of September. We all work. And to get back at 5 o'clock tonight and find that I'm expected to read over 120 pages of material for a hearing in 2 hours is just not going to happen. But the applicant and those who are opposed to it are all entitled to have me do exactly that, to read it, to consider it, and to absorb it. And that's not possible in 2 hours. So my motion is to reopen the hearing and as of our November meeting.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries, 6 votes in favor, no opposed, no abstentions. And we have one member of the board that is not, one vacancy on the board that is not as yet filled.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, who seconded that motion?
Mr. Upson.
I did.
Mr. Upson.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And Mr. Engler, I think there were multiple seconds.
So this will be back on the agenda for the November meeting, which
Yeah.
is November 6th.
Yes, and in the advertisement, please include the deadline for submission of any materials with respect to the application. And if I'm looking at the calendar correctly, our November meeting would be on the 6th. So the deadline for submission of any materials would be October 27th.
That's correct.
Yes.
That's
And that,
right.
it'll be in the advertisement?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Does it take that long just to go through the financials?
Exactly. I mean, it's a very extensive application. There's detailed submissions from both the applicant and people opposing to it. And we do the best we can, but we can't be expected to drop everything and absorb it and read it. So October 27th, that's the cutoff for anything that is to be considered at the November 6th meeting.
So, Mr. Chairman, for the record, and Steve, if you could help me out here, with the materials that I did receive today, those will be added to that October 27th date
Yes.
as part of the record.
Yep, they're received before October 27th, yes.
Okay.
Part of the record. They'll be part of the hearing on
So I will
the 6th.
recreate the packages again with the materials that I just received, because I keep getting emails every day.
Well, I think we all have everything through what was received today, right? So I think all we would need would be anything that comes in between tomorrow and the 27th.
Okay. Okay.
We'll hang on to all the packets we have because we're going to need to read through them and absorb it,
Okay.
all right?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we will be in recess because I believe that's the end of our agenda items, correct?
Well, and just also I wanted to add for the record, this is for case number ZB 2023-08-01.
Yes. We will be in recess until, for 10 minutes. I believe we only have one case on the agenda, so whether the applicant is still present or not doesn't affect the case that we'll call. So with respect to the application pertaining to 179, hold on, I'm looking here. Yes, 179 Lakefront. This is a type 2 action for seeker purposes. I'll make a motion that we grant the variance as requested with the following conditions. The fence posts will be no higher than 6 feet 4 inches to the top of any cap that's on the post. There will be no more than 2 panels. They will be no higher than 6 feet from the ground, and they are to be flush with or in the ground, depending upon any variances in the level of the terrain. I think that covers it. I would make the following findings as part of that. The modified application, as opposed to the original application for an 8-foot fence that was going to have 5 panels or more, will not result in a change in the neighborhood character because this fence is going to be well out of the wide open sight views that the prohibition on front fences was intended to preserve. The alternative that doesn't require a variance has already been demonstrated in the form of posts in the ground with a string or a cord and shower curtains hanging between them, which I would think is more unsightly than the vinyl fence that she's proposing. It's a far less substantial request than was originally being made. It is, at this point, marginally substantial in my opinion. It will not have a negative effect on the physical or environmental conditions if granted. It is a self-created situation, but not to the extent that would preclude consideration of granting the variance. And given the fact that this fence is going to be shielding view from the neighbors of a hot tub that, according to the testimony, may be occupied by different people every other night, it would seem to me it will have a desirable effect in the neighborhood.
We'll second it.
Cecil second. Any discussion?
Should we just keep it, make it 16-foot total overall as well? 2 8-foot panels,
2 8-foot panels, yes.
not to exceed 16 feet?
2 8-feet panels.
I'm sorry, Joe, was your microphone on?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mayor. 2 8-foot panels not to exceed 16 feet. In total.
In length.
Yeah, with the post.
8 foot wide, right?
8 foot wide, 2 8-foot wide panels,
And 6-foot poles, right? Jim,
6
you
foot
said that?
posts, yes.
Posts to be no higher than 6 feet 4 inches, including the cap.
8 foot
And they go to the ground, the panels.
not to exceed 16 feet
Yeah, he said flush.
total width.
Panels to be at or below ground level at the bottom.
Is that 16 feet with the post width?
It should be on the inside. Maybe a couple inches here.
All right, any other discussion? All right, so the motion is to approve the variance with the condition that there will be 2 8-foot panels not to exceed 16 feet in length and 6 feet in height. Posts are to be no higher than 6 feet 4 inches, and the panels are to be at or below ground level at the bottom.
Second it.
All right. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 6 votes in favor, no opposed, no abstentions. We have one member of position on the board that is not yet filled. Motion carries. All right, so that concludes the business that we have before us tonight in terms of agenda items. With the packets, everyone, I believe, received copies of minutes from February 6th of this year, May 1st of this year, and June 5th of this year. All of us were present at all of those meetings. Therefore, I'll move that we approve the minutes for February 6th, 2023, May 1st, 2023, and June 5th, 2023. Does anyone have any additions or corrections that they think should be made to those minutes? Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 6 votes in favor, no opposed, no abstentions. We have one position on the board that is not yet filled. Last item is a motion to adjourn. I'll make a motion to adjourn. Anyone opposed can stay till November 6th.
The second for the motion to adjourn?
I'll second that, Jim.
There you go.
Anybody who remains sitting is,
And I gotta run like a.
All those in
Just one-
favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 6 votes in favor, no opposed, no abstentions. One position on the board remains vacant.
Intercom.
Which we're working on.
And we are done.
I thank you for your patience with my minutes and trying to catch up.
In case you didn't realize it, I do have other things to do, so it really wasn't a problem. Like reading all this stuff on Colebrook, for example.
This, okay, I gotta run out of here, run all the way downtown.
Keep it on your nightstand, Ryan.
Somebody's phone. That's what it was. Hello?